Well, that was a stinger, you guys. Pistons lose to the Cavs 125-94, and we're going to break it all down, but that was just an ugly game all around. I'd love to know your guys' takes in the comments, but me personally, that might have been one of the worst Pistons games I've ever seen in my entire life. I've been a lifelong fan, and I remember when the Pistons won in '04. I was 10 years old. I'm 32 now. I was a young buck when they won, and I was also a young buck when they lost to the Spurs in '05. And I remember the gut-wrenching feeling of when your team loses in the playoffs. It's the worst. And I have that same feeling right now. It's an upset stomach feeling. It's a can't go to bed type of feeling after a game like that when you have watched a team win 60 wins and be the number 1 seed in their conference and have all this hype going in. But a lot of our weaknesses showed and were exposed in this playoffs, and I honestly think that could be a good thing for us. I know that sounds crazy, but I'm going to start this show off really negative, and we're going to end this show really positive, and I would love to hear your guys' takes in the comments. Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Pistons Daily Podcast, your go-to source for Pistons content, game recaps, hot takes, and everything Detroit basketball. I'm your host, Connor Koukios. If you're a true Pistons fan, you are in the right place because around here we live by one rule and one rule only, and that's don't let the Stones get hot. Before we get rolling, want to give a huge shout out to our friends over at Kalshi for helping support the show. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and share with your friends. And don't forget, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok by searching the Pistons Daily Podcast for even more content. Let's get into it, you guys. Game 7, this was brutal. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice. I am like losing my voice from yelling at the TV so much. This was, God, it was tough to watch. The Pistons lose at their own game, right? They were just absolutely bodied this entire game, manhandled, right? It was a slow start in the beginning. Cleveland's bigs just absolutely dominated us. Mobley had 21 points and 12 rebounds. Allen had 23 points and 7 rebounds. Mitchell, 26 and 7. And from the Pistons side, we just really didn't have anybody doing what they typically do. Cade had 13 points. Jenkins, I thought, did well. He had 17 points. He stepped up. But Tobias Harris, 5 points. JD, 7 points. Where are they in a game 7, right? What happened? It's very clear that Cade needs help and that Cade was exhausted, and we can't go at him. Obviously, it was a game 7 situation, but we can't go at him he had an amazing postseason, right? And it's not all on him. It's a clear sign that we need to do something in this offseason to give him help, right? And having our all-star center and Jalen Duren having 7 points while Cleveland's bigs absolutely thrive is a big problem, right? And I thought in that second quarter, missing 8 shots in a row was the start of our downfall and a clear sign that this team really does need help. And I'd love to know from you guys your takes on this because I think it's pretty obvious. I think we have to agree that this team needs help. I think you would be kind of crazy to say otherwise that we don't need a number. We do need a number 2, right? Question is, who is that number 2 going to be? Because now we're in the offseason. We're officially here, and it's not fun. I don't want to be here right now, and I don't want to have to be talking about the offseason, but we're here, right? And so we have to start that conversation because that's exactly what we needed in this game. Another thing that's really frustrating is that, defensively, we looked terrible. And this is a team that has built their entire identity around defense. I just thought that we were allowing the Cavaliers guards to just drive in easily and dish to their bigs. They were able to get their spots so easily. Their shooters, we were doing such a bad job closing out on shooters. I felt like Merrill was able to just do whatever he wanted. We were jumping on the first pump fake attempt, allowing Merrill to do that easy sidestep for a nice take your time, catch and shoot 3, very high percentage look. And I just felt like we were not staying disciplined defensively. I felt like the Cavs actually did do a great job defensively. Obviously, when you look at our score, we scored 94 points, didn't even get to 100 this game. All around, I could break down the stats all day with you guys, but there's just no point, right? This was a tough game all around. But really what it comes down to is Cleveland's bigs. Cleveland's bigs had a crazy game. Obviously, Allen and Mobley combining for 44 points, and I just thought that we had no answer. And having no Jalen Duren help, and really we didn't get much from like B-Ball Paul this game, Isaiah Stewart, like those are other guys that have been a huge help down low. It just felt like our bigs were non-existent in this game, in a game where you really needed the bigs, and they just thrived off of that. That was our weakness, and they saw it and they attacked it, and they did a great job at that. Donovan Mitchell was obviously looking for them down low, so was Harden, and it was just very easy for them to get going. I mean, Jared Allen, it felt like, just was able to do whatever he wanted in that third quarter. He had a couple of stretches where he was just absolutely dominating inside. So it was very tough, you guys, but there is hope. There is optimism. We are going to get to that here in a little bit. But first, the playoffs are here. And it's the most electric time in basketball. On Kalshi, you can trade every single playoff game, every series, the conference finals, and the championship. The Thunder are trading at 68% to beat the Spurs, meaning a $100 trade pays out $145 if they win. As the playoffs heat up, those numbers move in real time, and you can buy in or out at any time. On Kalshi, you're trading against peers in a live market, meaning there's no house. And as the probability changes, you can buy in and out of your position. For a limited time, download the Kalshi app and use code FANARCHBASKETBALL to get $10 when you trade 10. Kalshi, Kalshi. Trade on anything. All right, you guys. This is the big topic, and I want to spend some time on this one because, listen, we can talk about this game all we want. And I kind of want to move past it. As fans, I feel like it's just not worth sulking in this game. We have to remember that this is an amazing season. A lot of guys that we didn't expect to step up on this team really did step up. I mean, I know Tobias Harris had a really, really bad Game 7 tonight, but he really stepped up in this playoffs. And without Tobias Harris, you don't even win that first-round series against the Orlando Magic. So I am happy with guys like Tobias, really happy with guys like Danis Jenkins, B-Ball Paul. Shout out B-Ball Paul this year. That was amazing. Amazing seeing what B-Ball Paul did, especially in those stretches this season where Cade was out, Jalen Duren was out. We saw him have a 28-point game against the Bulls early on in the season. It was awesome. But we need help for Cade. And when I say help, I mean a true number 2 option. We've talked a lot about Devin Booker on this podcast. I know Coach T brought up Devin Booker quite a bit. I would love to see a D-Book in Detroit. What would it take to get a D-Book in Detroit? Would it be worth it? Because when you're looking at a game like tonight, it almost feels like it could be worth it, and it should be, right? Like, why would we not want to go after a guy like that at that caliber? Because at the end of the day, we talk about the depth on this team, and I'm a fan. Like, I am a true fan of everybody on this team. I would hate to lose anyone, right? But when you do lose in the postseason, moves have to be made. And in a situation like this, where the Pistons really do have a bright future, we do have to get that number 2 in the offseason. So I want to know from you guys in the comments, who do you think we need to get? Is it Lauri Markkanen? Is it Trey Murphy? Is it Devin Booker? Do we have to get a guy like Devin Booker? Maybe it's someone of that caliber. Is it Tyler Hero? Right? Like, these are shot creators, guys that can go out there, help Cade out, get a 20-point game. Devin Booker's a two-way player as well. He can play defense, help out on defense, right? A guy like Lauri Markkanen would thrive on this team. I know defensively maybe not as much, but I mean, you put Lauri Markkanen on this team with Cade Cunningham, I think you got a chance for a championship for sure, right? So that's really what this comes down to, because in these closeout games, like, all the pressure is going to be on Cade Cunningham. They're doubling him. They're doing everything. I mean, we saw it tonight. Him having 13 points is alarming. Like, this guy never does that. He has not been doing that this whole postseason, and we saw it happen. And so that's really, I think, what this comes down to is Trajan Langdon going to go out? Is he going to make a big move? Is he going to make a superstar level move, because I think that's what this team does need in order to make it to the finals at least. I mean, to win a championship, I think we need a little bit more experience. I think we could still do it next year, but something big's got to happen. Something big has to happen. And I also want to address Jalen Duren as well, because it's a contract year. I mean, what do we do with JD? That's a whole other conversation that we have to get to in this offseason is, Duren went from being this all-star this year to completely non-existent in the postseason. I mean, the postseason is what truly matters. We need your best. I mean, what we saw with Cade was his absolute best. He gave it his all this postseason. So we need a true number 2 option, and I want to know from you guys in the comments. Let's get this conversation going, because this is a long offseason. I will be here talking about this 5 days a week, so we got to spark something. Who are we getting as a number 2 option? And I want to finish things off here today because, listen, the future's still bright, right? This was an amazing year, and as fans, we need to be so appreciative of the year that this was. It's unfortunate to have it end the way that it did tonight, and it was a huge bummer. But I want to start by saying that our championship era has just begun here in Detroit. And it may not seem like that right now, but it takes growth to get to the NBA Finals and to win. And this team lost last year in the first round of the Knicks. This year, they took that next step, and they won a playoff series, and they were 1 game away from getting the conference finals. And I think that we are on that next step of getting to the NBA Finals and making that championship run. We just need those pieces, like I just said. We need that second guy, right? When you look at the bad boys, right? Isaiah Thomas had Joe Dumars. He had help on that team, right? You need help. And so we will get that. I looked this up because I was just curious. Oklahoma City Thunder is the talk of the town, obviously, in the NBA, right? Well, it took SGA 7 seasons to win with OKC. 7 seasons, you guys. Like, I think us as Detroit fans, specifically in this city, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way. I feel like everybody wants things to happen overnight. And it's been a long time since this city has won, right? So I think we're all getting severely impatient. But I think it's going to happen with this team. I'm confident in Cade Cunningham, right? Like the year that I saw from him this year, we're going to get that. We just need to build this team the right way. I have faith in our GM to do that. We need to really pay close attention to this offseason. It's a huge offseason for us. But 2 seasons ago, this team had 14 wins, you guys. And now we had 60 wins, and we're the number 1 seed. What a fun year to watch Detroit Pistons basketball. What an awesome year to follow this team. I was watching every single game, and if you would have asked me a few years ago, I am a lifelong Pistons fan, but it was hard to tune in every night in the 14-win season. It was. You're so bummed every night, and you feel like there is no hope. And then now, looking at the year that we had, we can only go up from here. This stings, but there is hope. There are moves to be made. This conversation does not end here, and I want to end things by saying, I'm curious to know what you guys think right now, your thoughts, your emotions, everything that you're feeling from this game, and what you think this team needs going into this offseason. We got the NBA draft coming up, right? That's not as crucial, I think, for this team, but we're going to get into, picks and things like that. But, what do the Pistons need to do? I'm going to be on the trade simulators. We're going to be talking about a lot of different moves, options, things like that, things that would work out, what we would have to give up, right, in order to get some of these guys like Devin Booker, Lauri Markkanen, of that caliber. So we're going to get into all of that this offseason. But again, as fans, it's important to just appreciate what we had, and it's only the start of the championship era, you guys. It's only the start of the championship era. So, listen, guys, once again, thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. I am your host, Connor Koukios, and again, a huge shout out to our friends over at Kalshi for making this thing happen. I will be here 5 days a week, talking all Pistons basketball all throughout the offseason. I'm so excited to do this with you guys because this is the start of the championship era. And once again, for the last time this season, Don't let the stones get hot. Peace.